Have y'all seen the story going viral on Twitter right now? A man in Colorado has possibly stumbled upon the scene and site of a serial spiller. You don't have to take my word for it. Just look at what he's discovered. Multiple pairs of shoes that all have a mate to them. And in his own words, they're not regular, boring shoes. They're all boots, thigh high boots, and not Mary J. Blige's boots, the ones she's selling now. Look at what he found.
So I believe could be a crime, and maybe at first you might not think so, but I'm going to tell you a quick story. And I don't know if we have a serial killer or what it is, and I know this sounds like clickbait, but follow along, and I want your guys' opinion on this. So I'll try to be quick and efficient.
I
This right
believe
here
him. My
is
dad's a
one of a
Marine.
pair of boots here.
Was a Marine.
One of 10 pairs that I have found out here of different sizes.
AKA Hooker Hills.
Right here is a different one of the boots. Definitely.
That's two different shoes.
Looks like it got snapped off.
Pay attention.
These were found together. Now, I was out here testing out a truck and four-wheeling when I came across a pond that I've never seen out here before, just very well hidden. And this is in a very
It's completely
in
remote.
western Colorado up along the Book Cliffs. So I'm going to take you on a little walk here and tell you what I found. So I climbed over a fence. I believe I was taking a leak.
You knew you were taking a leak.
And not a big surprise to see a high heel out in the desert by a pond. But then I saw another high heel, and it matched it about 2-3 feet away. And
that's one matching pair of shoes.
And then, of course, I found two more sets of high heels.
We're at 3
for about 5 minutes, and they are all in the shoreline of this shallow.
Those are cheap and tacky heels. I'm sorry.
Walked down the bank here, and this is where I found my first couple sets of shoes. And I started looking around, and I did. Once I found, I think, 3 sets of shoes. It spiked my interest.
3 sets of shoes.
I could tell that some of them looked like they were different sizes, so I thought, well, they probably belong to different people. And
3 different people.
But I've thought a lot about this now, and it's the details from here on really started surprising me the more I started looking into this. So I walked up and down this shoreline, and I just started trying to look in for any other pairs of shoes, and I believe the first day we found 5.
We're at 5. I can't even hold enough fingers.
About 30 feet down, if you notice, there's boulders also on the side of this pond. I started noticing the water was very low that day, much lower than it is right now. I could see just under the surface of the water there was a lot of these large rocks placed all the way out in the mud, but in a nice little path so you could walk quite a ways out to the little island out there, it looked like, or to a very deep section. And so I walked out a ways, and it was submerged a bit, but I walked out a little ways, and I found a piece of plastic sticking out of the top of the mud. And I reached down and found it. And what was that? It was an actual high heel that had snapped off. Looking around, I actually found, which I believe is this high heel right here, that was missing the high heel. And the only thing that's odd is that very first day, I ended up finding 6 pairs of shoes.
6 pairs of shoes.
Another day, and I kind of sat up on the hill over here, and I looked all the way around the pond, and I found a brand new pair of ladies' nylons with another pair
stockings.
Of shoes. That was on to my 7th pair. I did call some friends that brought some dogs out here.
We're at 7.
They weren't made for searching this type of thing, but they were tracking dogs. And obviously, these shoes have been down for a long time. It was the best I knew what to do. And that day, I believe we found 2 more sets of shoes.
So now we're at 9.
So we were up to 9 at that point. And I came back out here to the desert. I'm really trying to check this and figure out what to do. And I came out and found the 10th pair of shoes, which was the first pair of boots I showed you. Now,
we went from 1 pair of shoes to 10.
Has had a matching pair together.
And they all have a match.
It's crazy that there's been multiple sizes. I did tell some people at the sheriff's department.
Of course you don't care.
I was told it was probably nothing. But I would love to know why there's a super remote, very difficult to get to pond.
Full of hooker hills, let's just be honest. He's much nicer than me.
And when it gets muddy here, this is totally untraversable. Why is it that we found 10 pairs of women's high heels, and every single pair is, for lack of better terms,
he's so kind.
A very fancy dress up, possibly like a stripper boot. Always very high-legged, fancy high heels. There's never just a boring pair of shoes. These are just the simple facts that I've found, and I would love to know if any of you guys know of any of the disappearances. And I'm going to be uploading the pictures of these shoes for what we have. Now the pond is much higher now, and I'm guessing that whoever is throwing these shoes down here is expecting that usually they're going to be underwater. I've had to come back quite a few times
Climate
now to catch
change.
the pond this low again. So usually all these shoes you see along the shoreline are all submerged underwater. So let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know if you think of a way to help. So
What do you guys think? Like,